Hi there and welcome back to another video on my channel, Minecraft with Toot. This one will be a new farm all about kelp. Yes, we're going to make an automatic kelp farm, so we get kelp, dried kelp and also bone meal. Let's jump in my world and I will show you how this farm is going to be built. And don't forget to hit that like or subscribe button. So first of all, let me show you in this chest what we are going to need for this build. You can pause the video and make a screenshot if you want. And since I only have 2 water buckets and I'm going to need 3, quickly I will make an infinite water source. First thing you want to do is to make a redstone clock. Place 3 blocks like this, remove the middle one, place a redstone torch on one side in the bottom, put a repeater in the middle, make sure it's facing the correct way, and add some redstone dust on the other side. And then you see it starts flashing automatically. Now if you add a lever on the outside at the torch side and you turn it off, you see that the clock will stop. Now let's place some pistons. So first thing what I do is I'm going to remove 3 blocks on this side and then 4 blocks in the next row. We're going to place normal pistons facing up in the first row. Then we're going to connect the 3 pistons with some redstone dust, cover the redstone with some solid blocks, and on top we're going to add sticky pistons. Now you see that this one is activated immediately. I will remove the repeater. So this is how it should look like. Now we can cover the front with some blocks. And then add a row on top of the sticky pistons. The size you can make it however you want. Probably later we are going to add some glass over there. On the back side with the sticky pistons we're also going to need to add some redstone dust. The normal pistons we need to add a repeater over there. Make sure you set it on 1 tick. Let's place the original repeater back for the clock. Make sure that you set this one to 1 tick also. The redstone torch and the dust. Now if we turn on the lever, then you should see the following happening. Place 3 sand blocks in front of the sticky pistons and place 3 sand blocks on top of the extended pistons. After that you can cover the rest with the solid blocks and fill the back side just like this, but make sure that you leave a gap open where we can add some pistons. These sand blocks is where the kelp will start to grow. And when they grow 1 extra block, that's when the pistons will start breaking the kelp. Now of course those pistons, they also need some redstone to be activated. So from the clock we're going to extend the redstone. With redstone torches we're going to build a little tower. The important part is that if the moment you have the redstone connected to the clock, that the top torch is going to be off. And now let's start connecting this torch to the pistons. Some redstone dust at the pistons, and over here we're going to add another repeater. And this is how it should look like from the back side. Now let's finish up the top side. So you want to extend 1 more block, also on this side. Over here is going to be the hopper system. And the sides you can choose whatever you want. Fill it with glass or solid blocks. We will add some top slabs against these solid blocks. And against those ones we will put some trapdoors. And that's just for easy access. Against the middle block we're going to add signs. So 1 over there, then 1 in the middle and 1 at the end. And then we are going to waterlog the slabs. Oops, I forgot to add some panes. Add the glass panes on these positions. It will prevent the water to run out, but later the drops will drop in the hoppers. And here through the trapdoors we can add the kelp on the sand, just like this. And looking from down, this is pretty much what you should get by now. So here in the bottom is going to be our collecting system, which we are going to build now. Add 3 chests against the sand blocks, facing to the side, so we can always extend them. And while crouching down, add 3 hoppers on top of each chest. Next I'm going to add a smoker and a composter on these positions. And on top of them we're going to place hoppers. Add more hoppers all the way down and add some chests in order to collect all the materials what we make. Smoker needs to be primed with some fuel, because otherwise it will not start producing dried kelp. So I tidied up a little bit for you guys, and as you can see now it's ready. So when we turn it on, we can see we get kelp, we get some bone meal, and we get dried kelp. Now don't forget to turn off your farm when you leave this world, otherwise it will be destroyed. And if you like it so far, please consider to subscribe, it would really help my channel. But I don't want to leave it like this. I want to add a few crafters, and stay with me, so I'm going to show you how all the redstone is working. Because it is a little bit tricky if you don't have a lot of redstone components available in your early game world. But I found a solution for this. So the crafters, they do need a redstone signal in order to create an output. And first thing I was thinking to use the redstone clock, which we created in the beginning. But the problem with this one is it's giving so quickly a pulse that the bone meal which is coming into the crafter is immediately being crafted to white dye. The moment the crafter would have 2 occupied slots, it will not create any white dye, but it will wait until it's fully full to create a bone block, and that's what I want. Now the solution what I found is not a perfect one, but it will work for me. So what I calculated, roughly every 7 seconds 1 slot is being filled, so I need to have a clock which is giving a pulse like every 15 seconds. And after doing some testing in my little flat world, this is what I came up with. This is only made of repeaters. Every 15 seconds the torch in the middle is giving a very short pulse. So I built it also in my real world, and there is the lever in the center. That lever is just to reset the whole system and to start counting again and again. Now of course let's see how it does with the composter. If there is no pulse between the first and the second bone meal, then it will just wait until the 9th is full and the redstone pulse comes, and that's when we get our bone block. I covered everything up with pale oak planks. I added an extra chest where I can keep a little bit of kelp in case my kelp breaks. I made a little modification where I added 2 composters going into the same crafter to slightly increase the speed of the bone meal coming into the crafter. And then of course the collection chests, where we have the chest for the dried kelp blocks and where we have the chest for the bone meal blocks. And then the last chest is just empty because before it was to collect the kelp, but I let it over there. The kelp blocks, they can be reused in the smoker to create more dried kelp of course. And this is how you build a farm for infinite fuel and bone meal. I really hope that you enjoyed watching the video. I really hope you can use this build also in your world. Like or consider subscribing if you want to see more of my channel. Thank you all for watching, and bye for now.